Hi, everybody. I just wanted to talk a little bit today about something I saw, and I just had kind of a reaction to it. Fortnite video game maker Epic Games paid more than $500 million over FTC allegations of privacy violations and unwanted charges. Now, the original article I saw was actually an IGN article, and I know IGN, these guys are the same guys that currently are running the article in the defense of Marvel Comic Universe Phase 4. So I ended up actually going over to ftc.gov to see what the allegations were and what the fine was in total. Now, this does include of the fine, which one of the fines, there's two separate things. Is $245 million in refunds for tricking users into making unwanted charges. Now, I've read this over, and there is some things in here I agree with. There is some things in here I kind of don't necessarily 100% agree with. Now, the FTC's claim is Epic put children and teens at risk in lax privacy practices. One of the things they're talking about big time in here is collecting data. Now, I agree. I don't like my data being collected. I don't think they should be allowed to collect as much data as they do, so I'm not against that. I think every major corporation, Apple, Microsoft, you name it, collects way too much of our data. Now, the privacy violations they have, the first one is alleged that Epic was aware that many children were playing Fortnite, as shown through surveys, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. Yeah, a lot of kids play it, but so do a lot of 30-year-olds. So, and I find it hard to believe that all 245 million of the refunds are children. And my question is, there's some of their reasonings in here are inconsistent buttons and making it complicated to back out of purchasing. Now, if you've ever played Fortnite with a kid who's playing Fortnite, they build these houses and structures in seconds. Like, pressing B a couple times is not going to confuse them. That's a bullshit claim. But, and they use things like, because they make Fortnite toys, and Fortnite is a non-M-rated game, so it does appeal to children. I don't think anybody should argue that. But it's designed to be addictive, but everything that's entertainment is kind of designed to be addictive, really. You want people to get hooked on your product. So I don't say it's necessarily unique in that perspective. But yeah, there's a huge appeal to children. I mean, remember when the stupid Fortnite dances were the biggest thing? You know what I mean? Default settings harm children and teens. Epic settings enable live on by default. So yeah, the text and voice communication is activated by default, which it really does seem like it would be easy just to put in the options, like with Call of Duty, where you have to activate voice chat and you got to set your mic up and everything. People were talking as early in 2017, their own employees, as this states, were saying that they needed to put in an option for it. And I believe in 2019 they finally did, like September of 2019 or something like that. They did implement those options, and now they have the whole thing where if you're under 13, the parents have to consent. Which brings me to a point of, where do the parents bear the responsibility as well? I mean, why would you have your credit card associated to the kid's account? Why would he know the logins to any of the PayPal or anything? My question is to a certain degree, I'm going to put blame on the parents. I mean, within the article, one of the quotes is, I didn't even realize hundreds of dollars have been charged to my credit card that my child put on my credit card before I even noticed. Well, how did you let that happen? Why does your child have the credit card on the account? There is some blame of this to be laid to the parent. I don't 100% put it on Epic. Yes, they're shady. They design an addictive game targeted towards young children. But my only point is, at some point, a parent needs to be a parent and say, you know what, my credit card's not going on the account. With that said, they have what they call illegal dark patterns, is what Epic was practicing. Use dark patterns to trick users into making purchases. Companies deployed a variety of dark patterns aimed at getting consumers of all ages to make unintended purchases. Fortnite's counterintuitive, inconsistent, and confusing button configuration led players to incur unwanted charges. No, I've played Fortnite. If you play against these kids that play Fortnite, no. They weren't confused by the buttons to back out of a purchase. Sure, they probably made an impulse button mash buy, but they weren't confused. Charged account holders without authorization. Children and other users who play Fortnite can purchase in-game bucks. We all know that. They stopped allowing them in 2018 for children to buy bucks. Once again, my question is why is your credit card on the account? Fortnite's a free game. You don't need a credit card on the account. Why is it there? Your kid can play base. That's just a question I have. Like, why would you allow your underage child access to a credit card? Just a question. Locked access to purchase content. So people apparently who fought the charges and said they didn't purchase those things had their accounts locked. Apparently there are some other things about how when the game is waking up, it can charge the account and stuff like that. I don't know if that is a case of if you were in the middle of a charge and you tried to back out and you shut the game off, it would resume, or if that's more of like I wanted the game to wake up, so I pressed A button and I bought a fucking skin for $20. I can understand that being frustrating. Now, the big thing is Epic ignored complaints. They had a shit ton of complaints, I think over 1 million, and they just ignored them. The FTC told them, hey, you need to fix this shit basically. Otherwise, we're gonna have to do something, because people are, you've got all these complaints. People are spending money on it they don't want to spend, and so basically you get here. Epic does also, as the IGN article shows, they do have somewhat of a response. I didn't go into the actual response because what I did read was a little annoying. No developer creates any game with the intention of ending up here. The video game industry is a place for fast-moving innovation where player expectations are high and new ideas are paramount. Statutes written, blah, 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 blah. Epic went on to address the allegations point on point. All game developers should rethink steps taken. So what they're doing here is they're going, you know what? You're right, FTC. We're going to pay our dues. Now, the truth of it is, 275 million in fines plus 245 million to a company that makes in 5.8 billion a year as of 2021. It's a drop in the bucket. It's not going to hurt them. So what they're going to do is they're going to pay this fine. They're going to take the noble approach of Epic is leading the charge for changing the way we do things. Meanwhile, they introduced a lot of the harmful practices that today is carried on in every quote unquote free to play game. But yeah, I saw that. So they're paying, over $500 million between fines and refunds. Once again, it's free press for Epic. It's free press for Fortnite. Fortnite's not going to stop. They just had in phase 4 an overhaul, a complete graphic overhaul and everything. So they're still improving, still adding content. They have those live concert Epic events and everything. So it is what it is. It's not going anywhere. They're going to pay this. They're going to move on. And then they can go, we were one of the first to change our, okay, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I happened to see that. Wanted to kind of talk about it. I'll talk to you guys soon.